If you are paying attention to Bittensor, you need to make sure that you are not missing this, because something is about to happen very, very soon that could be massive for Bittensor, and we could see price finally break out of this just very long period of like range trading and consolidation that we have seen. So I want to talk about all of that today. I did also want to give you a quick update of just what we're seeing in the altcoin market, how we are actually seeing altcoin or AI altcoins specifically really start to take off, and how this could be a major thing for Bittensor. So we're going to go in, we're going to talk through all of this. Just make sure that you stay following along. And of course, if you find the information useful, a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff does help a ton. So let's go ahead, we'll dive right on in, taking a look at the crypto bubbles. Here you can see really huge move today, particularly for AI coins. We can see that TAO is down actually 4%. But if we look, we see like D-Agent is up almost 85% just today. This is a really small one, so maybe not necessarily too indicative. We've seen ICP up 10% today, up about 160% on the week, an insane move here. We also have near up 40% on the day, fetch almost 60%, render 30%, virtuals over 15. We've even a graph up over 20, and then Filecoin also considered an AI token up almost 100% just in a single day today, which is just absolutely insane. So you can see that there might be a little bit of an AI rotation starting here. We'll have to see. Of course, it's still very early on to tell exactly for sure what's going on, but it's been very good. It's been a great day for AI, and we are seeing a lot of things like that happening. Now, of course, when we talk about TAO specifically, because we have seen TAO lag slightly, just super recently, but really while the market was doing really terribly, TAO has done super well. Because even if we look at the week, I believe, maybe it's on the month, yeah, because on the week TAO is still pretty red while a lot have done well. If we look at the month though, you will see TAO is up 12%, and it's one of the very few. You will see most of the AI coins are the green ones here. So it's a very interesting thing to see here, and of course, I do think that TAO is probably just doing a bit of some retracing after it's had a very successful several weeks. So also, I did want to show you, we do actually have a couple of trades open here. I have been doing some trading on weeks. I do also have those deposit bonuses on BTCC, which is 10% deposit bonus, basically free money. Again, of course, it is an affiliate link, so you can go ahead and click that in the link in the description below if you are interested. I also do have, if you are an ICP fan, a special ICP reward if you get signed up for Blofin. Again, that affiliate link is in the description as well. Now, you can see here we do have this Doge trade going on, up almost 40% at this point. Things looking pretty good. We've seen Doge actually hold up at kind of this like 15-cent level for a while, and so we did go long here, and now we're starting to see price move. Now, of course, we'll see how far we could see the Doge trade move, but things looking potentially pretty good here. Now, if we move along and we look at the TAO chart, you could see not that same type of bounce that we're seeing kind of from things like Doge or the rest of the market over the past couple of days. We're actually seeing a decent slump over the past several days after we saw a really nice run up over, let's say, the course of like, I don't know, 2.5 weeks, let's call it. And we actually did get above kind of this $480 range, which had been a really strong level of resistance. And so, of course, you could see we saw price run up almost to 540. I think people got really excited that we were seeing a breakout here, but then, of course, came right back down. And so a little bit of some, I don't want to call it manipulation, but some movement of price that may have been slightly unexpected here for TAO holders. But as you'll see, you know, we have kind of lows down at the kind of mid 100s, and we have highs kind of up at the, what do we want to call it, 750. And that's really where we've been for the past several years in a row. Really, even kind of more recently, we've seen price between about 315 and 480, really just kind of range trading without, you know, kind of ignoring some kind of slight moves above and below. That's really kind of where price has been mainly. So, I mean, of course, we are very anxiously watching this $480 level. That is kind of the main one, I would say, that is going to be important to watch. After that, we could be looking towards, you know, potentially some breakouts once we get to the 685. We also do have some other levels here, you know, maybe like 585, maybe 540 is another one, but really kind of like 685 and then 750 are going to be the two really major ones. And hopefully if we break above that, we'll see a really nice run here from Bittensor. Now, the interesting thing is even when we saw this run, we did not see price get into that overbought level on the RSI, which means that we could have seen this really actually run quite hard and still do all right in terms of RSI. Now, of course, we did get towards the top of the Bollinger Bands here, so there was that thing that we needed to consider. But right now, at least, we're kind of getting towards the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. RSI is kind of right just under average, but about average, I think is what we would call it here. So lots of really interesting things. Again, like I said, we really are keeping a very close eye on the $480 range. I do think that we could be like, there's clearly some upward momentum here going on in the chart. We can see RSI kind of slowly trending up over time. And I think that there's a lot of people who are getting excited for what comes very, very soon, which is the first Bittensor halving. You'll see here only 35 days until the first ever Bittensor halving. This could be huge for Bittensor, right? I mean, they have the same, essentially the same type of tokenomics of what we see out of Bitcoin. And so TAO is one that could see potentially a similar type of move from what Bitcoin has seen after its halvings. And so this is the one that I'm going to be watching very, very closely. You will see here that at this point in time with the first halving, about half of the total supply will be in circulation, which is really, really interesting to see. So, there's definitely the Bitcoin type of mechanics going on here with Bittensor. I am actually seeing a lot of people kind of making comments who are in the AI industry that they are keeping an eye on TAO. Grayscale has had their eyes on TAO. I mean, there are a lot of people who are looking very, very closely at Bittensor. So I personally have been accumulating. I'm looking to get more. But again, this is not financial advice. This is just my own opinion and what I personally am doing. You do need to make your own decisions. For me, though, I'm very, very much looking quite closely at TAO because I think we could see a pretty crazy thing happening here pretty soon. And of course, we do need to look at the chart. That 480 range is the first level, so we're not there quite yet. But I do think potentially, in the next 30-ish days or so, or maybe even, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, sometimes, with Bitcoin, it did take some time to see the halving really kind of take an effect on the community. So we'll have to see exactly, but I personally am going to be watching TAO very, very closely. Now, you can also see the success that TAO has had already. ICP actually just flipped TAO this week as the largest AI token. This is kind of largely in part due to ICP going up massively over the past 7 days, while TAO has bled a little bit. But prior to this, TAO was actually the largest AI altcoin that there was in the market. And so there is definitely, it is kind of setting the pace right now, but just based on some of the token mechanics that we are seeing, like the halving following somewhat similarly on Bitcoin's type of overall mechanics, we kind of have that type of roadmap of what we could see. I mean, we could see $1,000, $10,000, potentially even $100,000 TAO at some point in time if it does follow similarly to Bitcoin. Now, of course, that would require an insane amount of adoption, an insane amount of kind of usage and like decentralized AI becoming incredibly prolific, and most of it being run not necessarily on TAO, but being trained via TAO, and TAO being leveraged as a key piece in the decentralized AI ecosystem. So I do think it is worth taking a very, very close look at. Like I said, I personally am very bullish on it, if you can't obviously tell, but that is something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. And like I said, I don't exactly have a great kind of trade entry right now, which is why I have my Doge trade open and not the TAO trade. But I have been trying to get in on a couple of different entries, but of course, just keeping very, very tight stop losses and making sure that if price moves in the direction, price moves against the direction we're trying to go, that, we're not losing too much there. So I've been keeping a very, very close eye on that, but I am, of course, very, very closely watching TAO because I do think that we will see some major, major moves coming from TAO very recently. So again, that's what I've got for you today. Again, hopefully you found everything in the video useful. If you did, of course, a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff helps. And if you are looking for more TAO updates, more AI token updates, more all of those types of things, just general altcoin news, stuff like that, of course, you can hit that notification bell to make sure you are notified when I do release new videos, because I'm keeping up with all of it. So feel free, like I said, really appreciate all of the time, and thank you so much for tuning in.